A card! A card! My kingdom for a card! Oh! Huh. Wow, Hapag does not like that intro. For some reason it kind of cut in at the late, but welcome to Let's Play Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duelist of the Roses! And this game came out for the PlayStation 2 and is handled a lot differently than any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Game in existence, because this is more along the lines of a tactical, turn-based role-playing game that happens to have Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards represented. I'll get more into that later, but for now, let's head into the story. British Empire in the 15th century, the War of the Roses, which is actually an actual thing, by the way. That's where our setting takes place, but a power struggle between the houses of Lancaster, the Red Rose, and the York, White Rose, to decide a royal successor, was nearing its end. The York is well within the lead. The reign of this shitlord makes his return. He was but a step away and is known as Richard III. Meanwhile, in France, Yugi, aka Henry Tudor, the last Lancastrian heir, being forced to live a life of exile. The Lancastrian forces rendered powerless by ancient cards of sorcery wielded by Seto Kaiba, the bamfest-looking outfit he's ever worn, or the goofiest, you know. Take your pick. But yeah, Seto, his 7 followers, known as the Rose Crusaders, served under the flag of Lord Crawford, aka Pegasus. Lacking a duelist to champion their cause, defeat was imminent for the Lancastrians. In England, duel card games were still at the fledgling stage, because, you know, maybe they're just kind of shit here. Thus, the Lancastrians had to look elsewhere for a duel master capable of facing the Rosencrews in battle. With this in mind, Margaret Mai Beaufort of Lancaster secretly requested a High Druid to summon a duelist from another age. Which is where we come in. It's kind of Mode 7 little motif here. And all I think of is Stonehenge. Ooh, summoned from the mystic circle of red and white roses, the one capable of harnessing pure power. There was truth to the legend of the Rose Duelist. Lady Margaret, I've done it! Now we have the means toward defeating the evil forces of Rosencrews. Oh, my apologies. In my excitement, I'd forgotten I was in the presence of the Rose Duelist. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Simon McMooran, High Druid and Servant of Lancaster. May I be so bold as to ask the name by which the Rose Duelist would next to be known? Indubitably. Let's see. I don't think I can fit the whole thing in here. Not even close. Looks like it's just Renault again, like last time, so... Right. Renoa, a fine name indeed. Now here's the situation. The year is 1485. You're currently in Stonehenge, near Salisbury, England. The British Empire is in turmoil with the House of Lancaster's rightful claim to the throne being challenged by Yorkist usurpers. The power struggle is referred to as the Wars of the Roses, a name based on the badges used by both sides. A red rose for the Lancastrians and a white rose for the Yorkists. Right now, our kingdom is threatened by the Yorkists and their wrongful claim to the throne. All because the Yorkists enjoy the support in the Rose Crusaders and the Sorcerer's White Rose cards. Using our red rose cards, we summoned you, Renoa, to this day and age. We hoped your dueling experience would defeat the Rose Crusaders and lead us to victory. You will help us? Of course we will! Rumor has it the only legendary Rose Duelist stands a chance against the power of Rosencrews. They appreciate any help you can provide against them. But I should warn you that the rules dueling differ here. Dueling is governed here in England by what is known as the perfect rule. There are two major differences, the existence of movement or positioning, the other is the deck leader concept. Explains how the aspects of dueling lost in the process when the ancient sport of duel monsters adapted to card form. The perfect rule represents these lost rules miraculously revived here in England. Perhaps a practice duel would serve a better explanation. Actually, I can explain things. Not as good as this guy, but a lot quicker than this guy, so... a lesser of two evils, I would say. It is important you feel the vibrations of a deck leader. You must choose between three. Cards themselves draw fantasies from the ancient ones. Your deck leader acts as the intermediate between the ancient ones and the deck wielder. Select a card leader whose rhythm matches the stirrings of your soul. Give it some serious thought and make your selection. Choose carefully, for the deck wielder's guide will guide your destiny. Now, according on your name that you enter, you are given 3 choices for deck masters. I said, no, deck leaders. Deck masters is the Noah thing. You can see how I'd get that confused since they're both Yu-Gi-Oh, but whatever. Probably gonna flub that lineup a couple times, no doubt. But, got Fairy King Truesdale. Okay, a lot of attributes covered. 3 main races. This one's a little different, 4. But as you can see, the coloring is different because, unlike Forbidden Memories, they actually brought back effect monsters, but some of their effects are a lot different because the game itself, like I mentioned, is a lot different. I believe I'm leaning towards Fairy King Truesdale on this one. I remember using that card before. I'm gonna hit the start button to make my selection. I hit X, my mistake. I see you've selected your deck! So that's the effect of the Celtic Rose cards. Looks like there's some truth to the rumor that the Red Rose cards are capable of time transformation. It's been some time since the Battle of Barnet, Old One. Rosencrews, what brings you here? Only a member of the Rose Crusaders may call me by that name. If you may recall, I once told you before, you may only address me as Sato. Or does memory fail you, old man? And you must be the dreaded Rose Duelist. I must admit there's a certain aura of power emanating from you. I believe an introduction is in order. I am Seto, leader of the Rose Crusaders. Members of our little group would prefer to call me by the name of C. Rosencrews. I ask you again, what brings you here, Seto? Mind your manners, old man. What else would you bring me here? I've come for the Red Rose cards, after all. It was you who showed me how the summoning capabilities would evolve when the Res Road cards are combined with the transport powers of the White. So that's how we got here. You are thinking of attempting a Forbidden Rose summoning. If so, then the Red Rose cards must never fall into your evil hands. Card sorcery taps into the powers of the Ancient Ones by their very nature, each card a double-edged sword that can cut both ways. The Rose cards alone harness tremendous power. There's no telling what Horus might unleash by combining both. I will sacrifice my own life if need be to prevent any from uttering the Spell of Doom. Spell of Doom? You fool, the 16 Rose cards grant power over all. Druid legend has twisted the true meaning of these cards. We Rose Crusaders have sworn to create a utopia free from the ravages of war. We intend to accomplish this with the power of the cards. We'll do so by extending the rule of Richard III throughout the known world. By the way, it was clever of you to swarm a circle of red roses within the white rose barrier to summon the Rose Duelist. But you were foolish to come alone. This area is surrounded, and if you wish to leave with your life, you will only do so by handing over the red rose cards. Fool, then what about you? Fool enough to actually believe the red rose cards would remain here in my possession? Right after the summoning, I had the cards dispersed amongst our best duelists to keep them from your tainted hands. Then you leave me with but one option. I shall enlist the aid of your precious rose duelist. You take leave of your senses! And you speak too soon, old man. Heed my words, duelist. You wish to return to your proper time period. Require 16 cards of red and white roses. The red and white positions must be laid out in reverse of the summoning order to send you back. You know the spell? Since you need the 16 rose cards just as much as we do, I propose a partnership. Help us gather the cards and I shall guarantee your return after we've achieved our ultimate goal. Absurd proposal. Do you think the Honorable Renault would even lend an ear to your ridiculous proposal? You didn't really ask. Can you be so sure, old man? Simon's side has 8 of the red rose cards, while mine, the Rose Crusaders, has possession of the 8 white. The numbers are even. Simple arithmetic indicates that you could side with either one of us. But I'm sure you'll take account who's winning this war. After all, who was desperate enough to summon you in the first place? I think it's quite clear which side is better positioned to send you home. He does have a point. Renew, heed not the words of this power-hungry lunatic! Simon, must you resort to name-calling? I'm hurt. Tell you what, why don't we leave the decision to our dear duelist? After all, Simon, the duelist's future is not for us to decide, now is it? Well, yes, but... Splendid! In keeping with the tradition of Old Temple Gardens, I offer you a choice. 2 roses, the white represents me, the red for old Simon here. For the sake of justice, choose the red! Stand by my side, duelist, choose the white. Huh. Well, the red summoned me here. But this guy works for Richard III is a total shitbag. So... those guys are better equipped and are winning the war. But they're total shitbags still. He has a cooler outfit. But... red's my favorite color. I think I want to stick with Yugi because he's the king of games, and I assume it's more or less me. How disappointing. Oh well, you made your choice and I respect that. For now I will guarantee your safe patches till you've met with Yugi. After all, I don't want our little game to end too quickly, it wouldn't be sporting. I look forward to the day we meet again, Duelist. And again, he goes about his merry way and lets us do as we please. For a while, but I assume we'll have to more or less deal with him when the time comes. We start here at the French Empire. Digging that sax, man. Yeah. Sexy time with Yu-Gi-Oh! I present Prince Yugi, last Prince of Lancaster, a true Welshman, and the hope of whom we call ourselves Celts. My lord, I present Renoa, the Red Rose Duelist. You serve us well, Simon. My mother was wise in summoning you from Scotland. Don't really have a Yami Yugi accent. Yugi. You order me, sire. Duelist, I am Yugi. Actually, Henry Tudor is my name, but I find it tiresome, so you may call me Yugi. That's what the ladies call me, yes. Godly voice, I know. I'm sure Simon explained our situation, but it's only right that I request your services myself. I need you to return to England and put an end to the threat of the Rose Crusaders. Their white rose cards form a barrier that prevents my armies from setting foot on British soil. Though we Celts have the red rose cards, we are but inheritors, unable to wield their full power. So that's where I come in. We gambled on a druid legend that spoke of a rose duelist. According to the same legend, one must use a deck whose cost is lower than their opponents to capture a rose card of another color. Also a thing that comes in, I'll show off later. Cost of your deck should not exceed the cost of your opponent's deck. I would like to have you note that our resources have been pressed to the limit, requiring us to invade England by August. My troops will land in Milford Haven, Wales, and march on the face enemy at Bosworth Field. All the Rose Crusaders out of my commission by this time would be ideal. But as that might prove difficult, any reduction of their force would be appreciated. Right then! Let's us part company and reunite in Bosworth. I went like 6 different accents with you. No idea, so I'll just jump on pretense altogether. What was he in that one dub? Yugi, I think Taya wants Tia. Oh no, Tia. They called it. What's that? The British dub or no Brazilian? I forget what one that was. Whatever it was bad. But yeah, I'm not much of a historian when it comes to this, so don't look to me for like really any accurate or whatever. I assume there's like a probably websites and other stuff devoted to that. I'm just here for the Let's Play itself. As you can see, we have started with 2 choices over in Chester to deal with Weevil Underwood. Over here in Tewksbury against Rex Raptor. As you can see, their name and debt cost up there is 960. He's a lower 854, so I assume we should start with him first.
So you're the legendary Rose Duelist. Prepare to face the sting of my insect deck!